Welcome to Mapping with bRanN, and today on Fixing C02 Happy Love, I'd like to take a look at the mushroom pit. We are here in a copy of the original. There's going to be a few differences. Right off the bat, look at the mushrooms. Just notice how I have them. There's going to be a big change there. And along the wall, there's a lot of dark spots, and there's a lot of spots where mobs can just appear. And with some recent changes, they're not as recent anymore, but one of the changes that was made is mobs will happily, depending on your difficulty level, jump down from a cliff to land on your head. And this is the first area. The player does not have access to wood. The player only has some very basic items, and there are a few things you can find hidden in the walls, but this area, depending on the random spawns, this area can be a nightmare. Absolutely horrible for a first area. I have a very simple mod installed. Lets me push F9 and then just shows me the squares where spawning can happen. And if we fly up here, you'll see it's pretty horrible. But right here, this is the real issue. All these spots. And I do have a couple fake areas down below to catch spawning. Let me show you what I mean. There's just a couple small places. I've done this throughout the map everywhere. This was originally to balance out mob spawning, because you just really don't get a whole lot of control over the natural spawning mechanics. My solution in future maps will be, even though it's mini CTM, to still have the areas larger, and even possibly to rip out naturally generated terrain for the caves and just have those kind of below, not necessarily having a way to get to them, but just to kind of make it a little more balanced the way the game is expecting everything to be. Alright, let's jump into the updated mushroom. I always want to call it the mushroom hill zone. The mushroom pit. Alright, here we are again. Mushroom pit. Tip: wood this way. Sorta. Now if you remember when I showed you the monument area has some signs that kind of give hints as to where you can get your materials. And it will tell you that over here's the wood. But just in case you don't see it, there's another little hint. Is that a button over there? Yes, it is. That's strange. Oh, I noticed one right there too. Let's change this to normal. See what kind of spawns we get while we're walking around. Now you may or may not notice there's a lot more light in this area. I've also kind of made it so there's 2 blocks here in most spots. So even though stuff could spawn here, it's not going to be able to immediately get to you. The cliffs that were really sticking out, those have kind of been fixed up. And there's another button there. Strange. Of course, it's not strange to me. I know what they are. So for the buttons, well, here's one that the player's going to be right up to. Wooden buttons can be pressed by arrows. Okay, I knew that. You knew that. But just in case the player didn't know that. Do-do-do-do. And these will stay on. So what I've done is I've made a little device, nothing super fancy, which basically, now let's get this to D power. There we go. Basically when you push it, it powers this line, which unpowers that torch, which unpowers that block, which lets that torch be on. And then pushing the button again does nothing because this line's already been charged. So basically it's a one-way. It's a one-way flip. And then from there, the wiring runs through to all the lamps. And if you don't have a bow by now, button presser. You'll get one right there. Quite you. And so, you hit the button, and the lights come on. And so at this point, when you don't necessarily have a whole lot of different ways to light stuff up, you can kind of go through, take your time, slowly make it safer. It shouldn't be too horrible. Keeping in mind you don't have a whole lot of equipment. And if you're observant, you'll notice these mushrooms are different. I took some of the mushrooms that I made up for one of my other maps, where I took a bunch of the brown mushrooms and kind of made them look like trees. It actually took a while. It's difficult to work with those blocks. Come on! Light! And then you might want to slowly take your time, pick these guys off. There's a chest here, remagnetized. Slowly you can get the power armor that you had at the beginning of the game. It's not the best item in the world, the items in the world, but they're pretty cool. Oh, wow. Hi, baby. So, the other thing, there's two other things I want to show you. Oh, let's make it 3. Okay, so for one, I took this soul sand and I kind of made it look like it's creeping. What is that noise? I don't know what that noise is. I made this area and I don't know what this noise is. And then I have some nether wart there. There's definitely nether wart down below. Oh, let's turn off this. Let's turn off this spawn in blocks. But even when I played through the map, is what I'm trying to say, because that's what I'm thinking about. When I played through this map, I had forgot that I put the nether wart down here, and I could not find it. Of course, I think did I put a little bit? No, I don't think I put any in the base. So you got to get to this point before you can really start making your own potions. And now look, there's another one of those. So I'm hoping I got rid of my bow, didn't I? I'm hoping that the player's like, oh wait, no, these are good things, right? But this one doesn't do, oh gosh. But this one doesn't seem to do anything. And then you get lava. And I haven't actually tested this. I just assumed it would work. I'm wondering if the lava will make it out this way. Doesn't look like it's going to. I got a couple more of those too. Oh, this looks like it should light up some stuff. And the other lights didn't go on. What's going on? Nothing. Glowstone. It's just to give something a little unexpected. You just worked up above, hitting all those buttons, getting lights to come out, and then you got these things. I might fill these up with lava. I don't know. I think I figured that some of the glowstone would survive, and I just have it all explode everywhere. And I also figured this lava would kind of pour out, but I didn't test it because I wasn't in a copy, and I didn't want to destroy a bunch of stuff. Now down here, you'll notice we got the Quicksilver fish. And these guys are pretty much exactly the same. I did go through the spawners. I changed the max spawn delay to 800. I gave them their custom name, just so you could have a little more of a clue as to what to expect from them. And I added a little more light down here, so it's not so horrible to try to come down here. Although it still is pretty bad. Except I think if I filled this side and the other side up with lava, then when you blow that up, if I set it so that it could pour down, I could place some obsidian, almost make like a little funnel that'll be revealed once the TNT explodes. Then that might help make this area a little less horrible. And then you could still come down here and get this gold ore. I wanted to move the gold ore from this area, but I just... honestly, I'm not sure where to put it. Oh, that's the sound. That's the third thing. This is my favorite. I wanted to give sticks in this area. That was the original goal of this area. But I didn't want there to be a chance of running out of sticks. I was like, well, I'll do a stick spawner. And then I'm thinking, but that seems weird. I want more than just a stick spawner. So I'm like, well, what about a lava fountain with sticks? And that's what I had. And the sticks would just shoot straight up. But then I remembered this weight thing. Spawn potentials. This has a weight of 2, weight of 1, weight of 1, weight of 1, weight of 1. And these are all exactly the same with one small change. And that's, let me open this all up. So here's our age, which means it's almost dead. So you don't have a bunch of entities just spawning everywhere and sitting there. Of course, they'd be going in the lava, so it wouldn't matter. You have your motion. This is the y coordinate, 0.5. You have your position, and that's just so it kind of starts above the lava. Otherwise, it would just spawn in the lava. But also using position means all the sticks start in the same place when they spawn, which means all the sticks are going the same direction. This is the item tag, which tells us what it is, and that's just all the information for a stick. And then I also gave it a displayed name, spawn stick. And so what I then did was I copied all this and I pasted it, and I made one small modification, and that's the motion. So the motion on here is 0.3 instead of 0.5, so it doesn't go up as high, but it's also got an X and Y motion of 0.1. And basically there's something in there for it to move. This diagonal, that diagonal, this diagonal, that diagonal. So all 4 diagonals and straight up. And then I made the one that shoots it straight up just to have a weight of 2, so it happens more often. So then you get this kind of cool little effect. And you could have it so it sprays out more, but I kind of like that it's slower. And if you want a lot of sticks, you can just kind of shift over and hold it. And you can sit there and fill up your inventory if you want. Spawn stick. But if you want more sticks, you're going to have to come back here. And if you die 50 million times like I did when I played my own map, there's going to be more sticks. You can't lose them all. And if you take your time, there's a little puzzly aspect to it where you can kind of slowly make this place not as horrible. And with those sticks, you can come back with some coal, and you can really make the whole place safe. And so those few changes for the mushroom pit, I think, are going to make a huge difference for this area. Now, I would love to redesign this so differently if I were to do it from scratch, but I'm just going to have to save that idea for a future map. Because if I spend the kind of time I could just fixing up my maps, I'll never have any more than 3 maps, and I'll just constantly be updating them. And I guess that'd be okay, but I'd get bored of it. Alright, what next? Home of the Undead. Really not a lot of changes in this area. Here's a new chest, just labeled Free Light, just to kind of point out the fact that, hey, there's netherrack and you can light it on fire, and you don't need to use torches. Soup bowls. That was in the previous area. Now, one thing I did do is I did go through and kind of underpify most of the blocky-ish, the squarey landscape. There's still quite a lot. I might go over it again a little bit sometime if I'm bored, watch some YouTube videos and kind of comb over it, but it really is a lot better than it was. Let me show you what I mean. Welcome to the original design. Now just let me hide that. You can just see the brush. I call it a paintbrush, but really the World Edit brush. You can just kind of see the squares everywhere. It's kind of distracting to me now. I mean, it's really an eyesore, I think. And it's not too hard to fix, but I have to fix it by hand. Voxel Sniper is another program that lets you kind of paint your landscape, and it's actually really good, but currently it's, hey dancing man, currently it's just for bucket. There's no easy way that I know of yet. Oh my gosh, look at that whole family of creepers. There's no easy way that I know of yet to get it working the way I need, just on here, not having to copy the map saved over to a bucket server where the plugin's running and blah, blah, blah. But it can smooth off this landscape really easy, kind of in a more automated way. But I've just been fixing it by hand. Just it's a small area, it's not a big deal. Alright, one of our friends has come to see us. Hey guy. And just show you that I've updated all the spawners in this area as well to show the mob name. Hey guy, how you doing? Take that. Oh gosh, spiders, spiders. Same for in here. I've updated all the spawners. Hey creepers, this is Creeper City. What the heck? Let's see if we can get something to spawn in here. Hello? This is the first dungeon, so the way I designed it is like, hey, here's something obviously wrong with this area. One of the issues I had when I played through this is by the time I got down here, however, it was just crawling with spawned mobs. And that's because when you're up there, part of this is you're within range of a lot of the spawners. So that wasn't working out really well. Why are you not popping? Well, that doesn't matter. That's one we've already seen. So I also modified their range. And let's see, are the ones below... The ones below are not in range of you either. Not until you get down lower. Ah, here's our Royal Bowman. Let's pop his delay down. Do do do. One. Okay, he popped. Where'd he go? Where'd you go, buddy? There you are. Ooh, 3. Yikes. Royal Bowman. Let's see what goodies we can get from him. Got a bow. Got the boots. You gonna give me the helmet? No, it doesn't look like it. Oh, I don't even have room. That didn't do any good. Let's do a clear. Clear. Diamond. Come here, guy. Give me something good. Yeah, you shut up. Nobody likes you. Nobody cares about you. Oh, let's get through there. Well, I got some boots. Royal boots. Nothing super fancy, super fantastic, but kind of fun. And we also have the Royal Guardsman. And if we go down lower, we have the final area of Dungeon 1. It's kind of bright. I might tone it down a little. Looks like none of these things are spinning. But honestly, in all the time that you spend up there going through the hallways, taking out the spawners, it gives time for this area to build up. And I'll probably have to do like a little fake playthrough. Just kind of make sure the rates seem right. but this has a spawner for each type of mob that you face in this dungeon. And then this one just got 4 of the regular guys. Hey, regular guy. And then it's the tomb. The tomb of... Look under the coffin. Prince Abubu. Quiet. Talking to my YouTubes. So if we quickly pop into our no-clip mode and turn on the lights, you can kind of get a better idea of how this is laid out. And so part of the issues we were having was while you were up in this area, you were still within range of these spawners. And so they would just fill the halls while you're up here derping around. And same for here. When you're in this layer, the spawners down here would just go crazy. Now, I didn't bother. If you are down here, the spawners up above are still active. So if you don't get them all, then you going back up is going to be not as fun as it should be. But I figure, you know what? That's your own fault. You gotta take your time, do it right. See, just in this little time flying around, there's one guy. It was bad. I might have to decrease the light. But I didn't like how this looked. So dark. Oh, well, now I got the gamma bright on, but so maybe not torches. Maybe redstone torches. Maybe some recessed lava light like this one. Except that's not lava, but you know what I mean. Yeah, yeah. I love kind of flying through and seeing how it's laid out. Here's all the chests underneath the graves. Here's a special treasure chest. This hasn't changed, but I did up the looting on it, looting 5 from 4, and I gave it sharpness 2. The only thing with this item here is you need to be careful not to place the item, because it is a chest and it can be placed, just like the enchanted signs. There's the woolly box, the fleecy box. I'm thinking, is there anything else I want to say about this area? Really, I just updated the spawners, and I kind of fixed up the walls. I increased items in some of the chests, just for fun. I kind of asked, you know, does it matter if the player gets a little more of whatever this is? No. Alright, we'll give them a little more. No big deal. But that'll cover all the changes that I wanted to make in intersection A. So now I have simply to finish up intersection B. Intersection B will take me a little bit longer. Specifically, the final area is huge, and I'm not quite sure what I want to do to dress that up. But I definitely want to make it more fun. I think as it is now, it's kind of bland. But that's going to do it for this episode. So this has been bRanN. I will see you next video. Have a good day. Yeah.